Yeah. No, yeah. Alright lads, what's happening? Are you spooked? Cause I am Lawrence Chaney from RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 2. And today I'm going to be revealing the behind the scenes on how I achieved this horrifying look. Also guys, spoiler alert, I won 2 badges! 2 badges! 1 skin, 2 skin, 3 skin, 4 skin. Right, so we're going to be talking shit as usual, and I'm going to be doing my makeup. So if you want to see that, keep on watching. So now I have a blank canvas, I'm going to go in with my normal makeup routine. You've seen it tons of times before, but we're going to fire through it and then we're going to make it ooky spooky for this monster mashup, alright? So, first up are the brows. Now that I've sketched out the brow in brown, I'm going to go in with my black colour and I'm going to start at the ends and I'm going to work my way in and I'm going to darken that brow. Great thing about mixing these colours together, it means that it's never pure black, because like, for something to be black it needs to be so dark. Like even my wig, which is black hair, won't fully look black on camera, it won't look fully black on stage because there's light hitting it, there's highlights, all this, so you want to create something that is still dark but it's not pitch black, because that's pure not realistic, love. Now I'm just taking the same old Primark foundation and I'm going to liberally doopy dump on my forehead to clean round my brows. Honestly, this is like my favourite runway that we've had to do so far, because I am like a huge horror fan. Anything like horror I'm obsessed with. Obviously my name comes from Lon Chaney and he's a silent movie actor from like the 1910s, 1920s.
He says he's an actor, but I've never heard of him.
So you don't believe him?
No. I think he works at Carphone Warehouse.
And he worked predominantly in horror. He did The Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame. He was pure killing folk and wanting women. So, nothing like me then. Okay. Now to contour today, I'm just going to use the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette, and I'm going to take these shades here and I'm going to mash them up. I never use this unless it's to really darken, so like the outermost point. So again, I do this before I do my brows and kind of colour them, because it'll kind of help that everything's a bit like cleaner and less like mushy. Like this contour can be really blended out, but you don't want the brow colour blended out with it, because then it'll just be like a big black smudge, and I'm not about that life. I'm just going to apply the darkest shade now, going to brush a bit of that off.
Wait a minute!
I never use this.
Will you listen to yourself, you stupid fat old tart?
And I'm just going to apply it to the outermost points, unless it's to really dark and select the outermost point. And I'm just going to go in and darken these brows with some eyeshadow, just to bring that definition back. Lovely. Lovely. And that's us, babes, right? Now I'm going to clean out, clean out my hole. Using my TV paint stick in shade 070, which is white, and I'm going to carve out the rest of that brow. Now that side's done, I'm going to go in on this side. For your nose contour, you want both lines to be parallel to each other, because if they're not symmetrical and parallel to each other, it's going to look like you've got a broken nose. So yeah, a lot of pressure. And now, instead of using your beauty blender, I just finger it. Oh, I do love a good old finger. Oh, I do love a good old finger. Oh, I do love a good old finger. And now I'm just going to foundation the bottom half of my face. Do you know, on this week's episode I worked with Ellie again, and despite like how anything came across, I love working with Ellie. It's like one of my favourite things is to go up to Dundee and like work a show with her. But it was difficult because I was in my element doing TV stuff and hosting and that, and I knew Ellie wasn't in her element. So it was really difficult to kind of get my head around the fact that even though I may be at my best, I could still struggle because Ellie wouldn't be at her best, which is a shame for both of us because as friends we want each other to do well. Also, as well, something that I didn't think when they were like, oh, do it all in one take, I was like, oh, we'll have plenty of takes, it's fine. No, it was all in one take. When I knew it was all in one take, I did myself. And then Ellie got put off by that because it stank. Also, can we discuss the fact that Jenny walked off in this lip sync and Charlie Hides did all in the lip sync? Do you know what's common about both of them? They're both British and they were both in a morning talk show challenge in episode 4 of their season. Coincidence? I don't think. Now that my nose is powder contoured, I'm going to use the darkest powder contour of the NYX Pro palette and I'm going to draw that neck in as usual. And that's our guideline for where that scar is for later on. Now using the same contour shades, I'm going to contour my cheeks. Starting light, then going darker. I'm going to add blush to warm up the cheeks when I'm adding the bruises around my forehead, but next up I'm going to move on to the eyes. Now on the show for the look I did a halo eye, so it's a bit different from my normal like big winged liner. So the liner is a lot smaller and you just want to smoke out that big hoop. Smoking out a hoop. That's my name on Grindr.
This is sick. This is sick.
So now I've just used my finger to blend out that cream as far as possible to start out a good base for that shadow. I'm going to repeat that on the other side, then we're going to go in with the shadows, deepen it and cut the crease. Now the eyes are nowhere near finished, but for the next stage I'm going to use my black liquid liner just to draw a line of that crease so we know exactly where we're blending black out from. Less is more when it comes to blending black. Now using Carbon by MAC Cosmetics, which is a black eyeshadow, I'm going to use that on a small brush and I'm just going to dot it on these edges. You don't want to smudge, you don't want to do anything yet. We're literally building up that black pigment around the eye. There we go. Now we're going to go out and blend that black into the red and then blend the red out and then build it all up so it looks proper deep, proper smoky and proper spooky.
Oh.
Now to cut the crease today I normally use my Dazzle shadow from MAC, but I'm using Redacted Cosmetics today.
Oh Lord. Again. Again.
But yes, I'm using that to cut my crease. I don't care if it's eye safe or not because I hate myself, so it's all good. I use the wand and I just go in and cut that. And then for more depth and more detail, more sparkle, I'm going to use some red glitter from Give Face Cosmetics just to add some depth and sparkle. Okay, now that both eyes are all glittered up, I'm going to draw on some liner. Now basically all you're going to see of this liner, you're going to see a huge lash, it'll be a thin line smoked out at the end and just a sharp inner corner. Now that is easier said than done, especially after you've applied glitter, because it can sometimes get chunky. So basically take care and don't f it up, alright? Next I'm going to go in with my NYX white liquid liner, and that is just to bring that kind of light pop at the inner corner of your eye. Now that I've applied my mascara, I'm going to put on my moles and then we're going to get to the bruising, the scarring and the lips. So now I'm using whatever brush this is to apply the bruising. Now typically in bruises you have like greens, purples, reds, yellows and like browny kind of colours, and I just want it around my forehead, so we're going to follow the hairline and just apply some bruising with eyeshadow. It was super cool in this week's episode having like Lorraine there because I'm Scottish and she's Scottish. I remember watching like GMTV and like Lorraine's show and seeing her be on TV and going, oh wait, that's a Scottish person, I can tell by the accent. It was just really nice growing up to have someone like Lorraine on TV, because most of the time the only person I saw on my TV that was like me and like Lorraine was like fat bastard for Austin Powers. So I'm glad that Lorraine is no fat bastard from Austin Powers. I'm fat bastard. No. Get in my belly! So again, literally make these bruises as random as you need to. And then just to add a bit more depth, I'm going to take a bit of one of the blushes from the Revolution. I'm going to take, just to warm up around the forehead, I'm going to take the blush from the Revolution blush palette. I'm going to take that and just kind of warm up that face, because we're dead inside. We do want to look dead on the outside as well for once. And voila, onto the scars. For the scars, I wanted it to look super cartoony, so I'm just using the same black liquid liner that I nearly dropped there. But I used the same black liquid liner and it just helps it look really graphic and really bold, which is what I wanted to go for. Draw from here down. That's a good starting point. So now I'm going to blend this out with some black and red eyeshadow just to make it look a wee bit more rookie spooky and a wee bit more bulky. So I'm using the same colours I used to contour with. Nothing new, I'm just working my way around. We've started the shading and now I'm just going to bring in some of that red and some of that blush colour around the scar, because you want it to look all infected and dirty and nasty. I'm taking some Krylon white and I'm just going to highlight some areas before the black line so it looks like the skin is raised. So it really looks like the skin's separate. Now that's done, I'm just going to draw some lines to look like stitching. Now I'm going to draw some lines to imitate the stitches on the Bride of Frankenstein's neck. To finish this look off, all I need to do now are the lips and some highlight. To set my face, I'm just using the MAC Fix Plus Prep and Prime. Well, no, I didn't use it to prep and prime. All I need to do now is put my wig on, my eyelashes, my frock, my other face, and I'll be right back. And this is the final look. Oh my god, I am so thrilled that I was able to pay tribute to some of my favourite horror icons with this look. I was able to channel my inner TV persona in the challenge. This honestly has been my week. It's been my favourite week in the competition. I'm so happy to be part of the 2 badge club. I went to Drag Race knowing that I wanted to do my best, and it's really cool that like the judges are seeing that. Will I flounder next week? Will it be a dancing challenge? I hope it's not a dancing challenge. For this look I wanted to do something really different and something I'd not really done before. Some of my die-hard fans out there might remember that I did a 31 Days of Makeup series where I recreated horror icons. You can check that out if you want to somewhere. It was a series that I did on Instagram where every day of May I would upload a picture of me in another horror icon look. Rather than just revisiting one of those looks and doing like a glow up version of that, I wanted to do something that I'd not done before. I wanted to pay tribute to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Silence of the Lambs, the Bride of Frankenstein, and of course Sweeney Todd. I'm gay, I've got to have a musical in there somewhere. Hello darkness, my old friend. This look also meant so much to me because all my best pals helped make this look come together. My best friend Connor at Get Frocked UK made the base of this dress, this leotard. My best friend Axel at Axel Artistries did all the latex work on this. He did the head wrap, he moulded and cast my face, and then added another string round so we could tie it onto my tit. He latexed this entire dress, painted the entire dress, cast my ear, my nipples, his nose, so I've always got a bit of him with me. Having said that, I will take full credit for putting those lashes on this face. He may have painted the whole thing, right? But I put the lashes on the fake face. Me and my drag daughter Paracetamol literally paint splattered this leotard on a dummy outside my flat, and it left like blood drips all over the outside of my flat, so it just looked like someone had been murdered, which if you knew where I lived is a normal Friday night. This look was also inspired by a fashion illustrator I saw on Instagram called Giuseppe. They have amazing work. I'm inspired by like everything they post. Their work is like a must see. The graphics they do are so out of this world, so definitely give them a shout. My best friend also stoned this leotard. Her name's Kim Chaos. You can find her at Exoticicadesiest. She stones all my costumes. She is phenomenal. I love you so much, Kim. Thank you so much for listening to me again banging on about my process of coming up with the idea for this look and doing the makeup for this look. It is genuinely a labour of love, and it turned into a labour of hate because my pals just wanted the look over with. But I knew as soon as this look was coming together that it was going to be a gag. So what's going to happen in episode 5? Am I going to flounder? Will I be in the bottom 2? Will I win another challenge? Let's see, babes. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ah! Bitch.
Not making the cut.
Not making the cut at all.